This is NerdFT Radio, where nerds full-time explorers of the metaverse, surfers of the blockchain, and not in our mom's basement. I'm your host, RSG, aka the M16 God. The new Call of Duty's out. I'm killing it. And I'm here with Crypto Crier, aka the Prime God.
That's right, baby.
Crier, we're pumping. Things are pumping left. Things are pumping right. Things are pumping up. Things are pumping not down. Wait, hold up, left and right. Let's go with that.
Yeah,
How are you, Crier? How's everything going right now?
Doing great, my friend. We've been on the grind again. We've got some daily spaces going. I think that's been pumping my spirits back up. All the bags are pumping, so we're doing good there.
Okay.
We got the NFT gaming going. Everyone's kind of hyped there. We got random crypto tokens going off. We got new ecosystems blowing up. So, yeah, I'm excited.
Absolutely. And to start off the show, let's just go into it. And actually, no, I can't even do our segment, which is what big Web2, what big corporation jumps into NFTs or into crypto space, because this company already has jumped into the space, and it's the mouse one. What's that mouse one called again?
Disney,
the mouse guy.
That's the name of it.
Disney decided to do some rumblings right now. So we have a official jump into the space for the fourth or fifth time. Yeah. Disney, no, it's like the fourth or fifth. Disney is partnering with Flow to go ahead and release NFTs, which are going to be specifically Disney pins from Disney IP. It's going to be Star Wars IP, and I'm forgetting the last one, but it's around 3 of them. Unfortunately, I didn't see Marvel on this list, but they will be traded and sold on Flow. So obviously, for some of you listeners, you probably remember Flow from number 1, NBA Top Shot, number 2, NFL All Day, which you probably don't even know that they exist, and even though it's doing pretty well, number 3, the big one, which is going to be Doodles. So Doodles 2 has their platform on Flow as well. Crier, big anti-Flow guy, but Flow is doing its thing, and it is collaborating with one of the biggest companies in the entire world, which again is Disney. So Crier, what do you think about this move? And I have another question for you right after that, but what do you think about this move?
I think it's a great move for Disney. They want to have a controlled system, right? Like they are very protective of their IP. They don't want to have a lot of possibility of having something mistaken from them, their company, or they don't want to be. If I'm searching for OpenSea and it's right next to crypto dick butts, they probably wouldn't be super happy. So I do think that they're obviously going to try to go into the controlled garden area, a controlled walled off garden. And I do think Flow is a good choice for that, just because it's like a very quick, low fees. You don't even know that type of stuff is happening. But yeah, I think that's good for that. And I do think someone had a really good, interesting take on that too, was think of it like, how did you get here? You started with Top Shot, which was Flow. You didn't know it was what it was or anything like that. You just were like, I'm a collector and I like these things. Then you branched over to ETH because you saw more wins, more things that were interesting to collect.
I saw B-ball pandas and I was like, shit, I gotta go over
Let's go. But you know what I'm saying? Like it's like a bridge to other things, right? Most people, when they first come in, I would say generally don't start off right off on ETH, especially in the NFT stuff. I've seen a lot of people start with Tezos or Solana or Flow or some other means, and then eventually they make their way to Ethereum, because there's a lot of, if they are looking to that, you check all the boxes on slightly a degen, big time collector, more things to collect, you end up on ETH. So I do think that is a stepping stone, and it doesn't mean that a company starts off with something, doesn't go somewhere else and expand their horizon. So I do think that it's an interesting play for Disney. There's definitely, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. They're not going to be highly traded. I really picture them more like how like Reddit is. Like most people just collect them and don't trade them. There's not like a lot of volume coming through there. Okay. People are going to be collecting the pins, and I just like the Starbucks stuff. There's not a lot of people flipping Starbucks NFTs and stuff like that. I think it's going to be a lot more geared towards the collector side versus the flipper side, personally.
Okay, I can see that, but I will say that what's going on here is, number 1, sure, the name of this is going to be Disney Pinnacle. Number 2, the other thing I was missing was Pixar. So you're going to see Pixar IP as
Disney,
well
and
in there.
Star Wars.
Heroes and villains of Star Wars, and then other unique collectibles. Again, these are going to be collectible and tradable digital pins. And the really interesting part about this whole entire thing is it's going to be powered by Flow. But the very, very interesting is the NFT platform, Disney Pinnacle, will launch later this year. Now, where is it going to launch? The Apple Store for iOS and the Google Play Store for Android and on the web. But the real interesting part is iOS
Apple.
and Play Store. That is pretty much telling us that this is going to be a lot easier for a lot of people to get in and do this. If you go to Disney as much as I do, or maybe even FUD now, you know that everyone's crazy about Disney pins. You literally can walk up to cast members in all 4 Disney parks, as well as even in Disney Springs and all the other Disneys around the world, and they all have pins. You can trade those pins, and they make so much money off pins. And by the way, pins are very expensive. A lot of people think like it's only a couple bucks. They're 15 to 30 to 40 bucks, depending on how like exclusive it is and whatnot. So it's actually really interesting to see how this will go. I remember being a little kid and just collecting pins. I have a crap ton of pins right behind me, but Disney specifically, it's been a really cool thing that my friends used to do when we were younger. We'd go to Disney. The really interesting part about that was that if you ever trade a pin with a cast member at the Disney parks, all the pins that they actually have a little small golden Mickey on the pin that you can get nowhere else other than trading it with a cast member. So obviously they see the value of collectibles. They see the value of these pins. They see that people are going to want to have these, and what other way, better way to do it than actually having an app where people can go and collect this and buy them and trade them the whole nine. Because again, the overall scheme of things, the one thing we always say is that it has to be easy for everyone to do. And just like you said at the beginning, when I first got into this space, it was NBA Top Shot. Was it the easiest thing in the world? Absolutely not, because it was on a computer instead of a phone. If it was easy, it would have been on a phone, but it was a lot easier than downloading a MetaMask, downloading Coinbase, by the way, to then send the ETH, wait a few days, send the ETH, grab that. Someone explain me what the heck gas is and all these stuff.
Yeah, and then also you're trading on ETH with those. You're spending minimum $6-7.
And back in the day, it was even a lot more too. It was 20.
Yeah, with gas right now,
absolutely.
And we're down. The transaction volume's not super high. It's still fairly expensive to do a transaction, especially if you're like a newcomer, right? A really high value. That's what the thing is. Like you got super high value NFTs. When you're trading something that's 10 grand, you're paying $6. It's not a big deal. When you're trading something that's $15 and it's costing you $6 to trade it, that's not cost feasible. So yeah, I do think that's a good call. Me being me, I still think Polygon or Arbitra, something else is also super interesting. But yeah, I definitely see they're definitely capturing most of the larger corporations. They have Ticketmaster.
Yep.
Instagram is like partnered with them, right? I believe
NBA,
NFL. They're hitting every one of the big
Doodles.
ones. Yeah, Doodles. Even though I still don't like the Doodle one because you still have to do both, which is insane to me. But yeah, I do see that as a benefit, right? And if it helps, it's the top of the funnel. If it gets more people down the rabbit hole than it does gets them there. I do think that's a cool move. And again, like if you have collaborations with other things on Flow, that could be huge also. We talked about this. It's not just beneficial for the user, it's beneficial for Disney, right? They see what people are collecting. They see if all the people collecting pins, like actually 70% of people collecting these pins actually have like Doodles wearables now. Yo, let's fire up a Doodles collab with Disney because guess what? Most of our pin collectors are actually also holding this other collection. Or they already own like ESPN. Like I'm sure they could work in a deal with something to do with sports and on NBA through Top Shot or something like that. I feel like there could be
the NFL, a bunch of stuff. Absolutely.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of open doors for that, especially if they own their own their own platform. I think it could be an interesting idea. You were talking about the pins. I knew nothing about the Disney pins. I've never got one or anything like that.
Bro.
I do think that the idea of like you're trading them with the person, that it makes it more special because it has the special pin on the back or whatever. I wonder if they do something inside the app. I think that'd be a really cool idea if you take it and they have some sort of like digital signature that upgrades your pin because you've now traded it inside the park or you've traded it with one of the cast members, something like that. I think that would be really interesting. I think that could be something that's again, makes the item more valuable on chain. And I think that's something that people don't really think about when they think about NFTs. It's just, oh, it's just a picture or whatever, but like, oh, they're upgradable and it evolves with you. Like maybe if you go to
multiple
the
parks
park,
multiple times.
yeah, you go to the
Exactly.
multiple
Yeah.
parks multiple times, and now like you get
The
to
pins
choose
instead
which
of
pin you want to upgrade, and
bronze
it's
is
now,
gold.
yeah,
Yep.
it's now holographic pin, or like they can do a lot of really cool things that aren't able to do with physical items. I do think that is 100% like the idea is we're going towards that brand loyalty stuff. I think it's a really good move.
Absolutely. One of the things that the CEO of Dapper, Roham,
Abraham. Yep.
Roham said was fans anywhere will be able to collect dynamic, keyword is dynamic there, dynamic pins on their phone and trade instantly and securely with each other, no matter where they are in the world. Again, when we talk about NFTs, when we talk about these digital collectibles, these digital assets, the main thing that we need to focus on if you're a collector that's still not like getting it with what's going on in this whole revolution of digital collectibles is that the opportunity of trading and not having to deal with sending things to people, trading with anyone in the world, wherever in the world, instead of just your trading card store that's 25 miles away from your house, or the event that you go once a year to Comic-Con in San Diego or New York, or the Comic-Con that you go in the random small Comic-Cons and things like that. This is true. Or of course, eBay and all these things. Again, when we think about all those things, it's a lot of work, and we're taking out the middleman and middlewoman of this by having this open world pretty much marketplace where you're going to be able to trade with anyone, and it's going to be a lot easier to go ahead and do that on the selling side as well as on the trading side. And there's no need to actually ship it and damages or getting lost, waiting 4, 5, 6, 10 days for it, anything like that. It's actually pretty cool. And one thing, while you were talking about those experiences, imagine if you're able to upgrade these. Again, he used the word dynamic here. I feel like a lot of these companies, again, like a POAP or even what's going on here, NBA Top Shot, NFL All Day. I know NBA Top Shot had some events where if you went to the game, you would actually get a top. Like their whole point is like they want to get Top Shot moments from the game that you went to. Same thing with the NFL, maybe even same thing with here with Disney. Imagine a world. So let me ask you, Carl, did you ever play Pokemon Go?
I didn't play a ton, but I definitely, yeah. I mean, I
But you
definitely
played
played
a
a little
little
bit.
bit later down the road. What was going on, and I actually didn't,
Like
it
the
wasn't able to
stadiums and like the,
experience this. But there's actually like live events where people get exclusive things. One day it could be multiple shinies that are just out of this one Pokemon. Here, I have a Pokemon right in front of me, a little Bulbasaur. Imagine just a shiny Bulbasaur on that same day, and you have to go to a Pokestop, and that's how you were to get this. Now,
yeah.
imagine a world where these pins, same exact thing, that same day, or at that Animal Kingdom, or
Yeah. They
the
can make it way
Disney
more
World in
exclusive
Paris, or
because
things
they
like
can
that.
change it so much.
They can make it exclusive. They can figure ways to do a lot of really awesome things. So I do see a world where they can definitely do that. And the other thing I did want to mention is a lot of people in the space right now, more on the sense of the VV side, they're like back and forth on this announcement because obviously Disney's
They've already launched with
biggest partnership in Web3 in this whole entire
was VV
ecosystem
already.
has been Vivi, right? And a lot of people are like, oh, what happened to Vivi? I'm like, guys, let me ask you a question. Can Disney sell at Target and Walmart or just exclusively at one? And they're like, oh,
Yeah.
that makes sense. I'm like, all right, exactly. We've seen Disney go into it. Remember, if you recall a few meetings ago for Disney on their annual or their quarterly, what is their board meetings that they have every quarter, they actually said that they have a partnership with Matic as well. So they have Matic. They have, I think they have another one if I'm not mistaken as well.
VV.
They have Vivi. They have Flow. They have, what's the other one I'm missing?
I
There's
mean,
one
they're
missing.
trying
There's
they're trying a
they're
bunch of
doing a
things
bunch
in
of
the space.
stuff.
They don't know what's going to
Absolutely.
work. And I think that's very
Absolutely.
commendable because why would you put all your eggs in one basket with a large corporation? You don't
Absolutely.
know which
And
one's going
if
to
you
gain
guys
traction.
remember earlier this year, Disney actually pulled the plug on its metaverse division that literally
Yeah.
had 7,000 people on it. And the expenses went up to $5.5 billion in 2 months. So again, we can figure. I'm so sorry. By the way, it was only like a team of 70, not 7,000. There's a very big layoff
Whoa.
of 7,000 that they had, but they only had
Yeah.
50 in the metaverse division, which were laid
Okay.
off or were put somewhere else, right? Again, it's what I saw with Cool Cats when they built this Cooltopia in this game, even though they should have probably not called it a game. They should have called it like a homepage, something different. But Cool Cats noticed, hey, we are not a gaming company. Like we can't build a game. So what are we going to do? We're going to partner with what? Gaming companies. So Disney saw this. They're like, hey, we're not at where we're supposed to be in this whole metaverse, in this whole crypto space. Instead of spending more money and doing all this crazy stuff, how about we pull the plug on our end and let's start partnering with multiple companies that can use our IP, grow it, push us, and then we can understand like what route we should truly get into later down the road, or we just stick to doing this. And maybe, by the way, you guys remember that Disney's one of the biggest companies in the world. Would it be a shocker if they just bought one of these companies out later down the road to actually do all their metaverse and all their crypto stuff later down the road? So again, there's a lot of avenues that, again, Disney isn't a freaking PFP company. It's literally Disney. So they can do a lot of stuff on the back end, and they're just trying to figure it out. And obviously,
I mean, most NFTs are focused on IP, and they are the leaders in IP realistically. I'm sure they're the largest IP company in existence. Hello Kitty, pretty sure. One of those.
Hello Kitty
and Pokemon.
Right.
Like those are the top three. Hello Kitty, Pokemon, and Disney. I mean, sure, Disney has like more overarching, like more characters like that. But
all combined.
Yeah, obviously,
I got the list too. I want to tell you it. Keep going.
What's it? Go ahead.
You want to hear it? All right. So number 1 is Pokemon. Number 2, Hello Kitty, which is so mind blowing to me. Number 3, shocker here, but it's Winnie the Pooh. Number 4 is Mickey Mouse. Number 5 is Star Wars. So Winnie the Pooh,
combined,
Mickey Mouse, Star Wars. We got that. Disney princesses, Marvel Cinematic Universe, Spider-Man. Like Cars, Toy Story.
They don't own the top 2, but everything else is they own. So they are the biggest RP brand.
By the way, I would like to say in the top 20, One Piece is there. Just wanted to say that. Keep this
guy. But yeah, just the idea here that NFTs really revolutionize IP. I think that's like the biggest thing that they do, because you're bringing that physical item and into the digital space. And it's such a easy win for these large companies, because people want to experience things in new ways. And like literally everyone spends so much time on their phone and whatever anyways now. It's not that crazy of a stretch to go down this route. People spend thousands and millions upon millions of dollars on in-game purchases.
Billions.
Most of them are like very cosmetic type things. I definitely think this is a really cool idea. And again, like can be incorporated into a ton of different things. So good.
Absolutely. Again, this is we're starting. Again, we got all those big companies. They're doing it little by little. They wind to, weed out all the bad stuff. And I truly believe that the space is allowing itself to weed out all the bad. A lot of people leaving the space. A lot of people also getting arrested. A lot of people just disappearing. So hopefully we start getting the good and out with the bad on that end. But let's go ahead and jump over into more of the Web3 gaming. What do we want to call it instead of Web3 gaming? Do we call it like digital collectible gaming? No. Do we call it crypto gaming? Blockchain gaming.
Games.
Let's go with blockchain games. So let's go with blockchain gaming. That's the new word, because we don't like to use Web3 because we're still, remember, at Web 2.146824112. Got it. So,
but yeah.
Crier, what do we got? Because there's some things pumping right now.
I'm the Prime God, so we're going to start off with Prime God. Right.
Let's go ahead and do that.
Parallel. I've been parallel pilled. We've had Gone and Temple Crash on our podcast twice now. They have been absolutely killing it, firing on all cylinders, and this accumulation of reaching a lot of people. They have good marketing. They have a great product. Now they have an ERC20 that was released earlier this year, which is like their whole ecosystem, and it's been doing incredibly well. And they've got really good ways to sink that money, and I think that's a really good way to. If there's anyone that's doing it that is starting a playbook, I personally think that Parallel is starting a playbook for good tokenomics structure and a good gameplay mechanics that are going forward. Because again, as a user who doesn't know anything about it, crazy easy to get into. You don't have to do anything. You sign up with an email and start playing, right? You can get any person going. They had great referral programs that have definitely worked. So we had the ability to get one of their avatars. And the only way to do it was, instead of buying the avatar, if you were a player and you had 25 ranked wins, you got an invite to give to somebody. And that invite got them the ability to, if they then were the person they invited played all 25 rookie rank ups, they were able to then earn avatar. Right. I do think this is a really, really great way to get someone like one of your closest friends to try out something new and play a game that they haven't tried before. And if they're not crypto native, like they didn't have to be at all, like they didn't have to know any of this stuff. And I think that's showcase that they're other things that they're really focusing on now too is like getting out into streaming. So now they're doing 300 Prime for top streamers over the next little bit. So if you're interested in streaming the game, 300 Prime that's a good chunk of money now. Like it's literally like $1,800. I do think that these things are very much so very well thought out, and I'm just super excited about it. We got the Planetfall. That's their next expansion. It comes out this month. They said they have 3 products launching by the end of this quarter. We got a lot of cool shit coming, and it's just getting started. So.
No, absolutely. Now, if we flip over into the Ronin side, I always like this game.
Yeah.
When I look at it, it's pixel online, right? And this is the one game that actually is taking the storm, just like Parallel did when we first started, as well as still Parallel is still doing its thing. But 86 or 87,000
daily active users for a crypto game. I
That's
mean,
nuts.
The only other one that's ever had like stuff like that has been Axies, right? Yeah, they've taken. I think DFK and the Bull maybe had there as well. A couple of them had that people signing on doing transactions like that. But I think this is for a bear market. That's fucking monstrous. That's definitely something that's not normal.
Perspective really quick on
quick.
Let's say it's number 1 very quick, but number 2 RuneScape, the one I always talk about. Right now they have like active players like 20,000 like right now online in this second, and you're telling me they have 86. Obviously they have 1.8 million, right? They have active users, but there's only 20,000 online right now. Now look at what's going on with this 86,000. That's just a number we haven't seen in the space. Remember, when you think about, like, for us at least on the PFP side, like there's only 6,000 holders for the major projects. You're telling me 86,000 people, and I really thought there's only 17 left of us in the space right now. So again, shout out to them. But unfortunately, I think on my end, it just looks a little like Stardew. And I know you and me, Krar, we tried, we want to, but we got to check it out. We definitely got to check it out.
I have played it once before. It was a lot earlier, and they were doing their land, pretty much like land distribution. If you got like certain checklists and stuff like that, participation, you're able to get land. I didn't end up putting enough time in to do it, so I didn't really get anything. But I played it. It didn't look terrible, but yeah, it's very similar to that like Stardew Valley, and it's something I'm just not crazy into. But there are people who
doesn't like pixel. Come on, guys, we know this.
Yeah. Saying like the idea, I've always said this too. I don't care for the pixel art. I love pixel games. I don't have a problem with pixel games, but as long as they're good. And I'm not saying this is not a good game. It's been literally like a year since I've even tried it. So I think I might pop in there and give it a whirl, but they've been definitely, some people are fucking loving it. There's definitely something right there.
86,000.
Yeah. And I think the Stardew Valley is, again, it's like more of a single player type game. You're not doing a lot of stuff. Whereas this one is like built in where you're doing like the farming and plots, but you're also able to trade it all. So I do think
other people. That's where a lot of people they come in and say they compare it to RuneScape, where you can see other people. It's an open world WoW as well. Obviously, on the skill side and fighting side, there's nothing of that. That's why it's compared more to the Stardew Valley side. I feel it would have been a really great time for this game to have came out during COVID, because I remember during COVID I got really into Animal Crossing, and that was like the best game in the entire
Animal
world.
Crossing is very similar to Stardew Valley.
Oh, absolutely, but just it looks better, and it's on the Switch, and also Stardew's on the Switch, and I'm just an asshole, and I just couldn't get into Stardew. That's all. I think I got Animal Crossing out, and then I was like, let me try Stardew, and I'm like,
Stardew. Yeah, I feel like
I need a shooter.
You should try it out.
I need a shooter.
We can both try it out.
We definitely. Maybe it's been, how long it's been since COVID, right? Since 2 years now, so maybe I can go into Animal Crossing mode again. Who knows? But
definitely interesting, and Ronin. I think it's really interesting to see this because Pixels, they migrated to Ronin Chain, and before they did the migration, very little users were happening. This is all since transferring to Ronin that we're now seeing this massive increase in users. And I think that's really interesting because as we go forward from here, we have all these competitive gaming chains, right? We see Avalanche is having stuff like, we talk about the DFK, they have Shrapnel, they have Off the Grid, they have a bunch of games coming out on the Avalanche side. Immutable X has a bunch of like their own game. They have their card game. They have
partnership with GameStop.
The partnership GameStop, but they also have what was that horror game that we interviewed?
They're not an NFT company anymore.
Yeah, they're still focusing on.
I don't think so. They don't.
No, they definitely said they just didn't want to showcase it. Is what they said. But anyways, they have a lot of games also on that chain. But when you actually break it down, the most successful blockchain game is Axies. They've dominated this entire thing. When every time that everyone's Bored Apes is high volume, whatever, blah 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 blah, Axie surpasses every collection by like multiple numbers, multiple X's in actual volumes. They have the users that are very interested. And guess what? When Axies came out, it was like the actual game came out, an insane amount of volume came in because people were just super excited about it. They were collecting these little things to breed with and not actually do anything with for a super long time. And then when it actually came out, it was huge. And then again, anytime a new game comes out, it's instantaneously you get a ton of new users. And the same thing here is,
if any founders,
not even a good game. Anthem had a fuck ton of people until they bought it, and then it sucked. So they stopped quickly.
A good game. Don't listen to Crier. Good games only, please. Thank you.
I definitely want good games only. I'm not saying that, but people were incredibly, no matter what the game is, it's always like super amount of tension. Once it's gone, they beat it, and then it's gone.
Let's look on the other side of what just happened on the Fortnite side. Fortnite was dying down, and what did they just go ahead and do? They brought back the OG map, and literally, I'm pretty sure the day one, which was I think last Friday, if not the Friday before, they broke every record. Like millions of people jumped in, and they were playing, and people are now playing. I don't even play that much. Look at that. Look, it just brings people back to it. They give more options. Again, now you don't have to do on the build side. You can do no build, or you can do build, etc. There's more things. And a lot of these from Axie, from maybe even like for Bored Ape, they're building all these different things, and people are finding their niche of, I like this, or I like that, or I like this, or I like that. You don't always have to play everything. You have to just find that one thing that you like to play and just keep on going. But obviously, just the main thing I'd like to stress here is just make good games that are fun. They're easy. They can be help onboard people, and it doesn't feel like it's literally financial transactions to play the game. It should feel like a video game. That's all we're asking.
Should be smooth, entertaining. And again, that's where like stuff. That's why Parallel is doing well, because you don't know anything like
nothing.
That. Pixels. I haven't played it again, but like when I did play it, it was just like a regular game. Like I didn't have to do anything or mess with my wallet or anything. It was just sign in, and then that's your account, and then start playing. And so you didn't feel like you were doing anything on it, or definitely.
How I could see it really quick, Crier, is like for these like games, these blockchain games, it has to be more the sense of you make an account like you've always made an account for any game, and it gives you the option if you want to connect your wallet. If you want to take it to the next step, go ahead. If you don't want to for a full 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years, you don't have to. And then on the 7th year, you know what? Let me try this. And all the things that you have on your account, boom, you get it right there. You keep on going, and you're able to do it. That's how I would personally like to see things, where it's an option. And later down the road, it won't be an option, of course, because everyone will finally understand, oh, crap, I want to own the things I'm freaking spending hours upon days, upon weeks to get. And then that we're in Valhalla by then. But yeah.
For sure. And the other thing to it, too, is once they actually get this going, we've seen this a lot, too, with Fortnite. They don't really do, it's not like I'm buying another copy of Fortnite over and over and over, or Call of Duty. Like Call of Duty has, I don't even know how many titles.
I'm playing it right now. Titles. The game I just bought, by the way, it could have just been like a DLC of the previous game.
Yeah, it's always that.
I would have been fine. It's fun, don't get me wrong, but yeah, it shouldn't have been $70. I'll tell you that one right now.
That's how it always is, though. That's why Fortnite is doing so well and crushing it on everyone else, is because they're not doing that bullshit, and people don't like. But even Call of Duty, though, is now it's just like when you click in to play the game, it's like it's Call of Duty.
It's not anything else. Just Call of Duty. Here's all your Call of Duty.
It's the franchise. Yep. And that's the thing that they're moving towards, is because especially with NFTs as they get more popular and stuff like that, then you can transfer your characters across multiple platforms, multiple franchise titles. We have GTA 6 coming, and then GTA 7. You can pull your character in.
GTA 7?
So
we're already talking. Well, hold on, pause. We can't talk about
they're
7.
definitely talking about GTA 7.
First off, it's been 10 years since GTA 5. Let's first get GTA 6, at least a trailer, and then maybe we can talk 7. I know.
Yeah. But like the idea, if they were able to, I don't know if they did it this time, but if they were able to get in any type of that mentality of being able to transfer things going further, people spending so much time on GTA 5 online,
nuts,
all these super high ranks and all this money and all this stuff, and that's all gone now. It's going to be gone.
That's why I believe that the Club Penguins of the world, the RuneScape of the world, the WoW of the world, they were
the itemization
before its time. It was before its time where you could literally just play a game, and every holiday, every year, there was a new update. And we didn't cherish that back in the day where we got more things all the time, and we were just playing one game that just more every single year got better and better, upgraded, keep going. And we got into this whole
expansion.
Exactly. We got into this whole like circle of, it was the Call of Duties, it was the Halos, it was the sports games. There's always a new sports game every year, but it's the same thing, just a little bit more sweat on the player. On the Call of Duty side, it was different maps, and now it's getting so bad that they're going back to the old maps and then being like, hey, we got the old maps, so you guys want to come and buy another one? Nostalgia, right? So it's pretty funny to see. And like you said, 100%, Fortnite was the one that broke the gaming industry and literally put it on its head.
Like it's
absolutely. No, screw that on the shooter side, on any side, literally. Like it literally put the gaming space on its head, and they figured out. And unfortunately, it should have been the WoW, it should have been the RuneScape, it should have been the Club Penguin that did it, but people just didn't see it back in the day until we just got literally worn out of all the Call of Duties, of all the Halos, of all the sports games, of all the Battlefields and all these things. And we're like, you know what? This is super nice what's going. By the way, a battle pass, like as much as people say, oh, you bought the battle pass, it's literally $10. And the person saying that bought the last 6 years. If you would have bought just one Call of Duty, you're gonna got 6 battle passes. But again, it's just and also the really great thing about those battle passes, and to this day, even Call of Duty, by the way, is doing pretty good with it. If you play the battle pass, they will give you the V-Bucks or the COD coins to get the next one. You don't ever have to until they get you and they drop a Marvel skin, what I have to buy right away, and then I have to buy more V-Bucks. Yeah, they bait the fuck out of me. But it's super awesome. It's again, like you said, Crier, things are moving. People are coming more into the space yet again. Things are pumping. It should be very interesting. Hopefully these companies take this opportunity NFTs like they should have last time.
Declared dead. Now everyone's back.
And maybe it's just the elites. They said that so like they can jump in. They bought all this stuff and we don't even know it yet. And then we're screwed.
Buy all the companies, buy all the cheap stuff, shake everybody out. And that's literally how it happens every year.
They bought our cheap apes. They bought our cheap doodles. And look at us. Where are we at? Who would have thought?
They didn't get our cheap Pudgies.
Crazy. They didn't. Yeah, they're still doing their thing. And by the way, if I'm not mistaken, on the Pudgy side, I saw that they're making.
Let's talk that.
What are they making? They're are they not vending machines, but they're like arcade games?
Arcade games. So you can put in like Dave and Buster's,
all that stuff. Yeah, it's pretty awesome to get the awareness and the IP going and all that stuff. Obviously, I will personally say on that side, when's the last time you went to a Dave and Buster's, or when's the last time you went to an arcade?
I literally go every week.
All right, God damn it, Cry. I don't.
With kids, I don't have a child. You definitely got to go.
There it is, absolutely. So on my side, I don't see it, but then you know what? Check mark the goddamn Luca and the Pudgy Penguins, because you're absolutely right. I talk about this every single time. We're not here for us. We're here for the next generation, and the next generation is obviously in these goddamn arcades and still doing what we did as children.
I mean, you go on Wednesdays. Right. It's like half PowerPoint day or whatever.
Absolutely right.
It's literally
I take my statement back. Great job, Pudgy Penguin. Where's my Pudgy?
Dude, yeah, and he's grinding on he's been like CBS, NBC, all the Daily Show, all these things now.
Oh, he's been doing his thing. He's making
doing
his
ham, man.
rounds. By the way, we just got some new stuff on the new drop for the wearables for Pudgy. Cool Cats is going to be in there. Gutter's going to be in there.
Yep.
Seals is going to be in there. A bunch of other NFT projects. Remember, we had that alpha in our last podcast with him where he said that he's going to go hard and moving the space together. He wants to collaborate. He wants to do this because without, by the way, competition,
he's going to succeed and take us all with us or set us back 3 years is what he said.
Yeah.
He's not
the
doing
one.
That.
Yeah, he's. I don't think he's going to be the one that's going to set us back. But
no, that's literally what he said. He's either we
absolutely.
succeed and I'm taking everybody with us, or we're going to go ham and we're not going to be liked, and then the NFTs set back a long time. So, because he's the one that's actually out in front of people that are not in the space, right? Generally, it's always just like a big circle jerk between what are you doing? Oh, we're going to the NFT events. We only do NFT events. We have parties and we all hang out with each other, and it's 6,000 people, and it's always the same 6,000 people. And we get our eyes out of that poisoned. It's all the same 200 people because the only people that are in America that can actually make the event. Yeah. 186. So the 186 white dudes that can show up to this party.
Dude, don't forget about the 4 girls. Come on.
Yeah, come on. But you know what I'm saying? It's the ones that are actually pushing the envelope are definitely pushing it hard, and I really appreciate that.
And I will say one other that's pushing it because we're about to hit that because it is almost Thanksgiving.
Yeah, let's see the cool cat chill.
Yo, you just chill the penguins. Relax. Cool Cats will be in the Macy's Day Parade. Luffy on the One Piece side will also be there. But Crier, do you have anything else that's been popping off that we need to talk about, or can we get into the nerd stuff? Because
have you done your homework yet? And watch Scavengers Reign? Oh,
absolutely not. I've been playing Call of Duty nonstop,
dude.
Nonstop. I'm a dog.
The reviews and people like talking about the show, insane. Telling you. Okay. If you put an episode on right now, you would literally watch all 12 and you would be like, oh my fucking God.
Okay. All right. You know what? I'll do it. I'll do it tonight. I'll put one episode on tonight and see how it's going. Now I have to flip it to you. 6 hours. Hold up. I got to flip it to you now. Have you done your goddamn homework? Have you seen Loki?
Oh, yeah. I'm on episode 4 or 5. So
holy crap. The ending.
How many are there? 6 total?
6 total.
So I think I think I have 5 and 6 to watch.
Stuff. We're going into the nerd. Number 1, Loki finale is out. Holy shit. It is the greatest. Here we go, Cry. You ready? Loki is the greatest character in the MCU. They crushed it. The arc from villain to what is about to happen. No spoilers.
The redemption.
Phenomenal. Number 2, the Marvels actually came out. It absolutely tanked the first day. I went and saw it.
Worst performing.
I loved
Marvel
it.
Movie?
No, yeah, it was worst performing Marvel movie. I will say 2 things here. Number 1, they had 2 days to promote it because they only had 2 days from the actors' strike that finally ended. So they only had 2 days to promote. So number 1. Number 2, the movie was fucking phenomenal. I loved it. It was so much fun. The whole entire theater, which was 1/4 of the theater, was laughing, was smiling. The end credit scene is probably at 15. The end credit scene was probably a top 3 end credit scene of any Marvel whatsoever, and shit's about to go down. And the one thing I do want to also mention, actually, I got a few things. We have our Mr. Fantastic.
Oh yeah, that one's I'm a fan.
We have our Mr. Fantastic, Pedro Pascal, aka the Mandalorian, aka the man, the myth, the legend from The Last of Us, aka I think he was the villain in Wonder Woman 2 that was really bad. Yes, he's crushing it. He is literally the biggest person. He's literally the biggest person in Hollywood right now. And Marvel took the safe play and said, we're not going to do this fan casting. We're not going to do this. We're not going to do that. We're going for the biggest guy in Hollywood, and we're going to make him into the biggest character in the MCU. Because Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic, is the leader of the Fantastic Four, number 1. Number 2, the Illuminati. Number 3, sometimes even the Avengers. So he is insane, and I'm very excited to see what's going to go down here. A lot of people are saying that because the strikes are over, we're going to start getting a lot of news on the Marvel side, and I'm just super excited, as well as on the DC side. But the one other movie or trailer that just came out was Madam Web, which is going to be Spider-Woman and Madam Web. It's Sony. The trailer was cool, but it's Sony. Just be cautious. Some reviews have said that it's actually not that bad, just like they said Craven looks like it's not that bad. But once again, I'll say it, It's Sony, so be careful. And the other thing I did want to mention is Invincible Season 2, Episode 2 is out. Episode 3 is coming out tomorrow while you're listening, if I'm not mistaken. I think it comes out on Thursdays. So be ready for that as well. Invincible is by far such an incredible show, and I'm super excited for it. And I've read the whole thing, so we're about to get an incredible Season 2. What do you have else for us, Crier, here?
Not too much. I've been more on the my nerd side has just been in the actual crypto stuff.
Just he's cryptoing it out. And I got one more thing then. Mario RPG is coming out on the 17th.
Oh, I played Mario Wonder. That was fun.
Did you beat it?
No, I definitely didn't. Yeah,
it's not. It's actually not that long.
2 out of 2, whatever.
Yeah, it's not that long. It's fun.
It's fun.
It's quick. It's easy. Not easy. There's just some levels I want to rip my eyeballs out. But Mario RPG is out on the 17th. It's a remaster of the old school Mario RPG. I actually never played it. I don't like table turning games pretty much. So like I don't know if I'm going to get it yet, but a lot of my friends are super excited for it. Again, I'll see how everything goes on that and maybe play at a friend's house something first and then jump over into it if I like it. But other than that, again, the space is moving, Crier. Things are happening on the entertainment side, as well as on the crypto side, on the nerd side, on the blockchain side, on the coin side. Things are pumping. People are coming into the space. More people are more bullish than ever, which probably means we're at the top. I'm kidding, but we're rumbling. We're stumbling. We're not stumbling, but a lot of really awesome things. Are we running or are we like jogging? I feel like we're jogging.
Just wait.
Oh boy, when Crier has that face and he uses that tone, you should be ready. So for the listeners at home, be ready. Keep listening. Keep grabbing those bricks, and actually don't throw the brick. Get ready to build.
Just hold them.
Hold them and get ready to build. And we'll be back next week with another episode of NerdFT.
Peace.
Goodbye. See you later. Hasta la vista. Bonjour. Wait.